All right, welcome to the channel. Top Networkers Group in the building. If you are brand new to my channel, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you will be notified when I go live or where I drop a new video on you guys, some thoughts. Those who follow me for a while, you know I'm a business channel, Top Networkers Group. We are a networking group. I got some updates on that coming towards the end of this channel here. Of this live that I'm putting on the channel here. Sort of get into a position where I can share a couple thoughts on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, newly elected president and vice president of these United States of America, where we've seen a lot of division in the last 4 years. And I would even say longer than that, of course, because when we're talking about systemic racism, this has been a problem that has been with us for quite some time. Again, if you follow my channel, if you are familiar with what I do and what I did, especially back in 2012, sort of in a response to the murder of Trayvon Martin, not getting justice when he was murdered. You know, his killer is still free. And that's an example of systemic racism here in America, where a black life seemingly does not matter the same as other lives do. And a lot of these topics somehow became controversial in the last, again, I would say 12 years, even though they've really been controversial for much longer than that. It's just that in the past 12 years, they've gotten a lot more press. Okay, looking to see if I can find some light for everybody that might be watching, because one of the unfortunate things about our society, just being real with you, is some of you guys may turn a video off because you can't see me talking. Oh, I can't see him talking, so I'm gonna turn the video off. You know, and this is sort of getting into my point about systemic racism, how people purposely misunderstand things. Like when we talk about Black Lives Mattering, a bunch of people who simply, frankly, are racist to begin with, decided to overcomplicate that conversation. Oh, all lives matter, not just the black ones. It's a constant struggle. So I wanted to get in, again, some of my thoughts on what might be able to curb some of the problems, what might be able to help with some of the problems when it comes to systemic racism. And a lot of it starts with input, with what people are actually listening to. And this is something that, as a business person, I'm a big proponent of growth, personal improvement. And it's not a secret to me. Maybe it is to you, maybe it's not, but Americans don't spend much time on improvement. Now, a lot of people love to work out their muscles, their body. They love to do all sorts of training that's going to sculpt and shape their body, their physiques. But not enough people are working on their minds. Not enough people are working on their knowledge muscle, their brain muscle. If people would sculpt their brain muscle as much as they seek to sculpt their other muscles, who knows what kind of nation America could be. Because, listen, if you're a student of power, if you're a student of how countries are run, it's really hard to argue with the model of a democracy. The idea, I'm just going to post right here for a moment. The idea that a nation's leaders can be selected by the people of that nation is a powerful model to govern a nation by. It really and truly is. But we don't really take advantage of that. As Americans, most of us tune out. We don't really pay attention to what's going on. And too many of us are lazy about things. I'm going to get right to my point. So, again, we'll take a quick little sip here. Ruby Red. Not promoting anybody, so I'm not going to hold it up, but that's what I'm drinking on. Some juice, you know. So listen, I'm on the radio. I'm listening to Sean Hannity, and if you're following what's going on right now, that's the narrative that the conservative side is pushing because their guy is pushing it. He told us for months he was going to push it, so I'm not even shocked that he's doing it. What's more shocking is that they're really talking as if it's going to work. It's not. We all know what his plan was. His plan was to mess up mail-in ballots because he politicized. I'm gonna go in order here. He politicized the pandemic first and foremost, to where if you're a Democrat, you're probably wearing a mask and you're social distancing. If you're a conservative, you're not. That's ultimately what happened from the pandemic. So somewhere along the line, he realizes, okay, well, what that also means is that instead of showing up in person to vote, Democrats are going to mail their votes in. So he started doing all this stuff to mess up the mail-ins, tried to declare that mail-in ballots are fraud. There's no way to make sure that these are real votes. He really talked up a lot of BS about mail-in ballots. People have been mailing in ballots for hundreds of years, or not hundreds, but for about 100 years now. There's never been a problem with that aspect of our democracy. And yet he wanted to really make that into an issue because he knew he wasn't going to have enough votes. He knew he had to throw out as many votes from the other team as he possibly could. And so now that his plan didn't work, people still showed up, people still voted. A bunch of mail-ins came in. I believe it was a record, the most mail-in ballots of all time. And so because of that process, see, mail-in ballots are always counted late, always, except for in states where their rules are different. But most states say that you're not going to count the mail-ins till after the election day votes. So a bunch of votes for Biden was sitting there in all these counties. Whereas, again, conservatives were most likely to go to the polls to vote because of how the president, the current one, politicized the pandemic. And he really has made this thing so much worse than it had to actually be. As I'm recording this, we're in the middle of a third spike. This spike is the most dangerous, the most numbers we've seen. We're setting records. That's not good, and it means that by January 20th, when Biden takes office, there very well could be 500,000 Americans that have died from coronavirus. And some of you may be doing the math like that's 3 months away. And that's exactly my point, because again, the numbers are so high right now that's a strong possibility. And so when you consider that, and you consider that a bunch of Republicans actually went to the polls and voted, there's no telling how many more people got infected on November 3rd. Because this is the type of nonsense that's been going on. He holds rallies, people come, you never know how many people get infected. This is all on the heels of the Sturgis event that happened. The Midwest right now is really where it has exploded. And most of the people who went to Sturgis came from the Midwest. This is not, hard to figure out, right? Okay. And like I've been telling people this entire time, the NBA bubble proved that the coronavirus can be contained. We can beat this virus. It's not that hard. The problem is what people are listening to. That's the problem. It's input. And part of battling systemic racism has to be finding a way. And I'm not here to pretend that I know the way, but we have to find a way. We should talk about the way, figure out what the way is to get white people specifically, because let's be frank and not sugarcoat anything while we're having these conversations. We have to get white people to stop listening to Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson. Look, it's freedom of speech here in America. Anybody can say anything. Fox News can hire these pundits to say anything they want to say on the air. But as American citizens, we need to be smart enough to discern information, to figure out if what I'm being told is accurate. That matters. That's so important. And so much of our problems that happen to today are manipulated by people who purposely lie to the public. Because again, a lot of them are racist. You think Sean Hannity likes black people? You out your mind. You think Laura Ingraham likes black people? You out your mind. Okay? Even the tokens who they all claim to like, they don't really like them. They use them for a prop. They use them for whatever they're trying to get out of them, and they don't bring them to the house. These black people are not part of their lives. They might welcome them onto their show to talk and say some things that they want to say about black people, but they can't say because they're white, and they want to pretend they're not racist. And this is all part of the nonsense, right? This is all part of it. So how do we get to a point where people who are racist have no impact on others? And part of it is getting folks to unplug from total BS. I don't know how you do it, but that's one of the challenges that we all face as a society because we live with these people. And I'm going to wish Joe Biden and Kamala Harris good luck in undoing systemic racism. I do believe it's going to be on us to hold them accountable to that pledge. You know, Joe Biden got up there tonight and said, "Thank you, Black America. You've always had my back. I'm going to have yours." Well, we gonna see, right? We gonna have to see about that, and hold him accountable to that pledge. Okay, because that's also part of it. You know, one of the things that makes systemic racism possible is black people are still so far behind economically. And I'm not going to talk for a long period of time here. Some of my videos go long enough. What I'm going to do, I'm gonna recommend you research a talk. It's a lecture, and there have been plenty of lectures since featuring Michelle Alexander and the new Jim Crow. As a starting point for you to understand how America has never made black people whole in this nation. They've left us broke for generations and generations. They use athletes like LeBron James and say, "Hey, if LeBron can do it, the rest of you blackies can do it too." And all it is systemic racism. It's let me dig a hole, throw you in the hole, and then laugh at you because you can't dig your way out, right? While we throw a ladder down to a few of you, and the few of you we let up, we then go back to the rest of you and say, "Well, what's wrong with the rest of you?" Like, all of this is BS. This is nonsense. And we as an educated society, we should know better. Okay? But again, because black people don't have resources, we don't have businesses like we should because we don't have resources. We don't have education like we should because we don't have resources. Other groups are now able to discriminate against us. They're able to do things to harm us. You know, black people should be in a position where we are entirely, totally self-sufficient, and we don't need anything from white people. That's the position we should be in. But getting to that position in a nation that has held us back at every turn is extremely difficult. So, in exchange for our votes, in exchange for always having their back, that's what groups like ADOS and FBA and B1 have been saying, you know, and I'm gonna get into that too. A lot of black people didn't vote. And there was a lot of discussion about that, a lot of debate, and frankly, I'm just gonna say it. I mean, even though I voted, I fully understand other black people who did not. And I think as voters, we need to get to that point where we understand that as well. Um, if you consider yourself to be a liberal, you need to understand that as hard as you fight for gay rights, for illegal immigration rights, things of that nature, DACA, as hard as y'all fight for that, women's rights, you need to understand that black people continue to be the ones that save y'all time and time again. A big reason, it's not the reason, but a big reason that Hillary lost in 2016 is she had zero appeal with black voters. Zero appeal. Her super predator remarks, being married to Bill Clinton, who at the time signed the crime bill, all these things hurt. And her not getting up and saying, listen, black folks, y'all are right. We need to really sit down and do what should have been done 20, 30 years ago. Make y'all whole so that now y'all will have the resources to go out and fix things. And then furthermore, again, there's the police side of it. Reform the police so that the police can't continue to terrorize black people, so that, police who murder you get thrown in jail. Do things to really make the police better, right? That's the thing. It's not that black people don't want police. We want police to be better. We want police to actually protect and serve. Okay, and that's not what we see. That's not what we've seen historically. And so there's a lot to clean up. There's a lot to clean up. I'm not going to recommend that companies fire, talking heads. But, again, we have to be smart enough not to tune in. Just because somebody talking don't mean we got to listen, right? That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, some people won't listen to this video because my lighting ain't all that great. Right? Like, never mind if I got 100 videos on my channel where you can see my face, and some people are like that. So if you can find a reason not to listen to somebody, do that with Sean Hannity. Do that when Tucker come on talking his nonsense. When Laura is on TV, Nazi saluting and talking her nonsense. I heard Sean Hannity on the news, on the radio, so what kind of sparked this whole video here. He's talking about how he don't understand how all these mail-in votes are coming in for Biden. And right after he gets through talking about that, he says there's a bunch of mail-in ballots in Arizona that haven't been counted, and many of those could very well be for Trump. So it's like, bruh, you understand. You understand that in the mail-in ballots, you have to count them to see who people voted for. And if you do that, you just might find that some of those ballots went to the other guy. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. But people will listen to that and without thinking will say, yeah, that's right. There must be some fraud going on. People, I need more intelligent human beings on this earth ASAP. Again, I don't know if the parents aren't parenting. I'm sorry, some of you parents are having a hard time. Maybe the work structure is too much pressure on you. Again, I know teachers want raises, but can y'all educate our kids better? Like, I probably just made a bunch of folks mad. But think about what I'm saying. Think about it, right? What is really happening in our schools? If you're a math teacher, you should be refusing to teach this new math. Refuse to teach that. Like, that's, it's like there's a concerted effort to make people stupid in school. So if we're not going to fix our schools, we have to fix ourselves as adults and go seek out knowledge and information we didn't obtain through school. Because we need more educated people. We need people who are monitoring their input. We all need to take a break from reality and listen to some stupid stuff every now and then, maybe some jokes, some comedy, or maybe just something just plain moronic level, like a Borat, for example. That's plain. There is no, there's no knowledge to be gained from watching a Borat movie, but you'll laugh and you'll break some of the stress that you might be going through in life. But every moment can't be that. We can't spend all day watching Borat. There's a time and a place to watch Borat. There's a time and a place to entertain ourselves. We must make time to educate ourselves as well so that we will be better citizens. We can be better people. And this will lead to better decisions and eventually building a better nation where all this BS, racism, separation, and division isn't occurring, especially at the level that we see it at. So listen, there's a lot of work to be done. Again, this president that's in here now, currently, the one who just lost, did a lot to stoke a lot of the division that's in our country. I was, again, disappointed to see so many people from network marketing who thought that this guy would be a good leader for the nation. I'm so disappointed that 70 million people in this country thought this man should have gotten 4 more years. These are all signs that we are not where we need to be. So, again, speaking of which, this channel, again, was started for Top Networkers Group for my network marketing ventures. Some of you are aware of things I've built, like the Black Folder, which is what I was about to talk about earlier when I was talking about Trayvon. That was sort of my response. Because I feel as Black people in network marketing, we need to have conversations with Black people. And it's the thing, like if you're white in network marketing, some of the things that you do to recruit other white people, that's fine. But when you're Black in network marketing, trying to recruit other Black people, there's a different approach you have to take. Because again, there's so much BS that's happened in this country to where it can be more difficult for a Black person to talk to another Black person about something so simple as business partnership. That can be a difficult conversation because of all the things that have happened that have been done to us. Okay, now again, that's where the Black Folder comes in, is we can now have a conversation about the things that have happened to us and then move from a conversation on whatever video is being shown or shared. Now we can move into how we can use business partnership as a tool to build wealth in this country, which we can use to help with the dismantling of systemic racism from our end. Again, there's not much we can do from our end, but we can at least attempt to build wealth. We can attempt to build businesses. We have to, again, continue to appeal to others and again, hope that they understand. If you want America to be a great nation, you're not going to do it if you allow these 70 million racist people to make decisions. We have to find more and more ways to eliminate their power and their numbers. It's really that simple. And so, again, the folder was set up, the 1MLM system was set up to really approach network marketing in a more intelligent way. But I've had challenges. And, I've been thinking that really, I thought about it last night. I might actually disband the 1MLM system. Because, again, if you've been following, I've been looking for new business partners now for several months. And I haven't been working hard at that, if I'm going to be honest. I haven't been doing that because I have my own businesses that I run as well. So I haven't spent a lot of time really looking for partners because, again, I'm so disappointed where so many people are, if I can be frank with you. A lot of the people that I wish I could build with don't exist. Yeah. I was looking on the Conversion Pros Facebook group just last night, and a new member came in, and his post in the group was, "Can somebody help me and show me what to do Please help. And Dave, the guy that runs the Conversion Pros, responds, well, did you watch any of the videos? Look, we've been having that same damn question in network marketing for the last 10 fucking years. Do you know how many people sign up for businesses, systems that have entire step-by-step videos in the back office, and they don't even watch the videos? That was my issue with my system. Again, my system, 40 videos at least. And people still come in and they sign up and they do their own thing. They figure, oh, I already know what I got to do. No time to sit down and watch the video, to catch the vision, to understand how to be talking to people about our system, to understand what they're involved in, etc., and so on. And so this is what I'm saying. There is something wrong with y'all in society today. It's been off. And we need better people. We need y'all to get better. If you're upset about being told to get better, you're exactly who I'm talking to. We need you to get better. You shouldn't be upset that somebody told you to get better. I look for ways to improve myself every day. How many of y'all do that? See what I'm saying? Most of you don't. And that's who I need. That's who I need to build a business with. And if I can't find people like that, then I have to really start considering whether I want to continue paying for hosting and all these kinds of things, whether I want to put the time in to fix parts of the system that are down, etc., whether I want to open it back up. Like, all these things are real considerations I have to think about while running other businesses that are far more successful, partially because I'm not having to work with random people in society who won't read books, won't watch videos, won't listen when folk talk, etc., etc., who spend all day and night on entertainment, and then they jump into business and won't take no time to educate themselves on business. So we need better people in society. Part of addressing systemic racism, in my opinion, is directly challenging people on their input. Again, we can't build a better society with 70 million people who think Sean Hannity is telling the truth. But everybody on CNN and MSNBC are all lying. Like, they currently hate Fox right now too, because a lot of other programs on Fox aren't going along with the BS. Like Hannity, Tucker, Laura, like they're all in line with Trump BS still. And that's a problem. Again, they can say what they want to say on the air, but the rest of us shouldn't listen. Joe Pags, Tim Conway, these are some other on radio air personalities. We need Americans to tune these niggas out, because they're not feeding the discourse with anything positive to make us a better, more united nation. These are the people who go on the air when George Zimmerman kills Trayvon, and they defend George Zimmerman as if they were there. They defended Darren Wilson like they were there. They defend them. And then people who listen say, well, these are radio personalities. They wouldn't have that job if they was lying. They must be telling me the truth. This is what happens. And so, again, we don't want to step on the freedom of speech. We don't want to tell people that they can't say stuff on the radio. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with YouTube deplatforming people. The Alex Joneses of the world. Look, let these people talk. We don't have to listen, though. That's where we have to improve. We have to find a way to get more people in America to tune out the BS, the actual BS, and to tune into truth. To care about truth, to want the facts and not the fantasy. Thanks for watching. Top Networkers Group. Like and subscribe, share if this made sense. Leave a comment if you have suggestions on how we can improve the nation and get more people to spend more time on education.